Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Quest for Knowledge. Today we are going to learn Class 2 World History Chapter 5.1 Delhi Sultanate, all 10 mark questions and answers. Answer the following in 30 to 40 sentences. Question number 1. Describe the achievements of Alauddin Khilji. Answer. Achievements of Alauddin Khilji. The first one is Conquest of North India and the Conquest of Gujarat 1297 CE. Gujarat was ruled by Rajput king Karnadeva in 1297 CE. Ulugh Khan and Nazrat Khan were the two generals of Alauddin Khilji. They attacked Gujarat and captured Anhilwada, Somanatha and Cambay and looted the wealth. King Karnadeva fled to Devagiri along with his daughter Devala Devi. The generals captured Kamala Devi, the queen of Karnadeva. Alauddin Khilji married her. During this expedition, an eunuch, that is one employed to safeguard the women's living areas in the ancient courts, named Malik Kafur, was purchased for 1000 dinars. Hence he was popular as Hazar Dinari. Then conquest of Ranthambore 1301 CE. Raja Hamira Deva was the ruler of Ranthambore. He had given shelter to some new Muslims. This offended Alauddin Khilji. Ulugh Khan and Nazrat Khan invaded Ranthambore. It was captured after a siege of 11 months. Hamira Deva lost his life in the battle. Conquest of Mewar 1303 CE. The Sisodias of Mewar enjoyed great respect among the Rajputs. Their fort of Chittor was considered unconquerable. It was not been able to conquer. Tradition maintains that the immediate cause of Alauddin's attack was his desire to carry away Padmini, the beautiful wife of Rana Ratan Singh. When he defeated, seemed certain, Padmini and other Rajput women committed Jauhar. Jauhar is burning oneself in the flames of fire. Chittor was captured and Sultan's eldest son Khizar Khan was made the governor of Chittor. Other conquests, Malwa, Ujjain, Mandu, Dhar, Chanderi and Jolur were conquered, and by 1305 CE, Alauddin completed his northern conquests. The Mongol raids. Alauddin had to face more than 6 Mongol invasions between 1296 and 1308 CE. Frequent raids by Mongols were a constant threat to the empire. New Muslims were also helping the Mongols. Alauddin Khilji took a series of measures like building roads and forts and garrison at regular intervals, stationing sufficient trained soldiers, mercilessly massacring new Muslims, etc. to face the Mongol raids. Second South Indian Campaign. Alauddin Khilji was the first Muslim ruler to attempt the conquest of South India. He appointed his able general Malik Kafur for the South Indian campaign. The enormous wealth, the large amount of wealth of South India and his ambition to conquer it were the causes for his campaign. Expedition to Devagiri 1307 CE. Ramachandra Deva, the king of Devagiri, had given shelter to Karnadeva and his daughter Devala Devi, and he had also not paid the annual tribute for 3 years. Alauddin Khilji sent Malik Kafur against Devagiri with an army of 30,000 soldiers. He defeated Ramachandra Deva and captured Devala Devi. Devala Devi was married to Khizar Khan, the eldest son of Alauddin Khilji. Ramachandra Deva agreed to pay an annual tribute then. Warangal Expedition 1309 CE. Malik Kafur marched towards Warangal through Devagiri and besieged, that is, surrounded by armed forces aiming to capture it or force surrender. Besieged the fort, King Prataparudra Deva of Warangal was forced to surrender and he agreed for peace. Golden statue of King Prataparudra Deva, 100 elephants, 7,000 horses and large quantities of gold and silver jewels and money were carried away to Delhi by Malik Kafur. Amir Khusro says that Malik Kafur proceeded to Delhi with booty of 1,000 camels groaning under the weight of treasure. Conquest of Dwara Samudra 1310 CE. Malik Kafur attacked Dwara Samudra, which was ruled by Veera Ballala III. The Hoysala king was surprised by the sudden attack of the Muslim army and he was helpless and he couldn't defend his capital. It was looted A number of temples were axed, removed by Malik Kafur. Veera Ballala III surrendered some elephants, horses, and treasure and offered to pay annual tribute to the Sultan. Conquest of Madurai 1311 CE. There was a civil war at Madurai between the brothers of Sundara Pandya and Veera Pandya. Malik Kafur marched towards Madurai and plundered, that is, looted and destroyed all the important towns and temples on the way to Pandya kingdom. He reached as far as Rameshwaram and destroyed the great temple and built a mosque there. He came to Delhi in 1311 CE with rich spoils. Second expedition of Devagiri 1312 CE, that is the reconquest of Devagiri. The last war of the South Indian expedition of Malik Kafur was against Shankaradeva of Devagiri. Shankaradeva had withheld the tribute and tried to rule independently. So Malik Kafur marched against Devagiri and defeated and killed him. Devagiri was annexed, added to the Delhi Empire. Alauddin's empire extended from Lahore in the north to Madurai in the south and Bengal in the east to Gujarat in the west. By 1312 CE, Alauddin had become the master of the whole India. He had an ambition to conquer the whole world, but had to be satisfied in conquering the entire India. Even then, he issued the coins with the title Sikandar. Question number 2. Give an account of the contributions of Sultanate of Delhi. Answer. Contributions of Sultanate of Delhi. Administration. The Kingdom of Delhi Sultanate was a theocratic. Theocratic means the form of governance based on a religion. State. Shariat were the rules of the state. The ulama controlled the state and administration. The sultans called themselves Naib of Khalifa. Central government. Sultan was the fountainhead of administration. He exercised the legislative, executive and judicial powers. He was often guided by the ulamas. However, Alauddin Khilji kept the ulama away from the state affairs. Problems. The Sultan carried the administration with the help of a number of ministers. They were in charge of departments like foreign affairs, revenue, royal correspondence, agriculture, markets, military, justice, finance, etc. Revenue. Land revenue, the war booty, annual tributes, house, water, religious and poll taxes, etc. were the various sources of income to the state. Land revenue could be paid either in cash or kind. Justice. The Sultan administrated justice with the help of Qazi-ul-Qazat. The chief Qazi was helped by Qazis and assisted by Muftis. Kotwal was the police officer in charge of law and order. The criminal law was very severe. Army. The Sultan maintained a strong army. It consisted of cavalry, infantry and elephant forces. So cavalry means the soldiers who fought on horsebacks. Infantry means the soldiers marching or fighting on foot. And elephant forces. The Sultanate was primarily military state. The Sultan was the supreme commander. All ministers and officers except the Chief Justice and the Qazis were to render both civil and military duties. Diwan-e-Ariz was in charge of army organization and administration. Provincial administration. The Sultanate was divided into a number of provinces called Iqtas. Each was under a governor called Naib Sultan. The governor enjoyed absolute powers in his province. He looked after the administration, collected the revenue, and maintained law and order in his province. He maintained an army of his own. Some sultans had the habit of transferring the governors and punishing them very severely if they revolted against the sultan. Each province was divided into shiks and paraganas. They were looked after the shikdars and amils respectively. Village was the primary unit of administration. It had traditional officers such as the Chaudhry, the Patwari and the Chaukidar, etc. Literature. This period witnessed the growth of Persian and vernacular literature. Persian poets of Central Asia sought shelter in the court of the Sultans of Delhi. Amir Khusru was the most outstanding writer. He was called the Parrot of India. Khazyan-ul-Fawtu and Tarkish-e-Alai were his works. Amir Hassan Dehalvi wrote sonnets. Badrul-Uddin, Maulana Aududdin Umrani and Hassan Nizami were some of the great Persian writers. Muhammad bin Tughlaq and Firoz Shah were the great scholars. Ziauddin Barani and Ibn Battuta were great historians of the Tughlaq period. Shamsi Siraj Afif completed the work Tarikh-e-Firoz Shahi, which had been left incomplete by Ziauddin Barni. Art and architecture. The heritage of Indian architecture was enriched by sultans of Delhi. They caused a new style of architecture called Indo-Islamic. It represents a synthesis of the two religious ideals, was Hinduism and Islam. The important features of the Indo-Islamic monuments remunerates arches, domes, hazaras, large gateways, etc. Quwwatul Islam Mosque at Delhi and Adaiddin Ka Jhampara Mosque at Ajmer were the earliest creation. The Qutub Minar was the greatest achievement of the early period. It was commenced by Qutbuddin Aibak and completed by Iltutmish. Iltutmish built houses Shamsi, Jamia Masjid and Shamsi Idgah. The Jamia Masjid is one of the largest and most beautiful of the buildings. Alauddin Khilji built the palace of Hazar Sitam, the fort of Seri, the Jamiat Khan Masjid, and the Alai Darwaza at Delhi. The Alai Darwaza has been regarded as one of the most treasured gems of Islamic architecture in India. The Tughlaqs showed keen interest in building of cities and forts. Firoz Shah was the greatest of the builders. He laid out the cities of Firozabad, Fatehbad, and Hisar and Janpur. Question number 3. Critically examine the administrative experiments of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Answer. Administrative experiments of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Increase of taxes in the Doab. The area between the river Ganges and Yamuna being very fertile, Muhammad decided to increase the taxes in this area to enhance the revenues of his empire. Although it was a practical decision, the tax hike was too steep, that is, rising or falling too sharply, and introduced at a time when a lack of rainfall had already created much unhappiness. When the farmers were unable to pay, they were ruthlessly punished. This measure made Muhammad bin Tughlaq very unpopular. Transfer of capital 1327 CE. To safeguard the capital from the Mongol invasions, the Sultan decided to shift the capital from Delhi to Devagiri. He built a new city near Devagiri and named it as Daulatabad. The other causes for shifting the capital were the proximity of Delhi to the border and the new capital being in the center of the empire. He decided to shift the entire population. Barani says not a cat or nor a dog was left. Ibn Battuta says a blind man and a cripple who were unwilling to move were dragged to the new capital. The reason for the move were very practical, but the method adopted was very impractical. The entire population of Delhi was made to travel to Daulatabad. The tiresome journey passing through the dense forest, heavy rains, diseases, dacoits, attacks, hunger, etc. resulted in death and sufferings of the people. Realizing that he had made a mistake, Sultan ordered all the people to march back to Delhi, again causing many more casualties. The entire incident made him highly unpopular. Token currency reforms 1329 to 1332 CE. Muhammad bin Tughlaq carried out experiments on coinage and currency. His main aim was to save precious metals like gold and silver and to introduce more money in the circulation of economy in his period. For this reason, copper coins were issued which had the same value as the silver tanka. Minting the copper coins was not retained as a monopoly of the government, hence the empire was flooded with thousands of counterfeit copper coins. People paid taxes with these counterfeit coins. Copper coins lost their value as the medium of exchange and trade had to suffer a lot. The Sultan therefore recalled copper coins. The people were asked to exchange their copper coins again with silver and gold coins, hence the royal treasury became empty. Thus the currency reform of the Sultan utterly failed. His character traits, that is, his qualities and attributes and achievements, have elicited much discussion and controversy. Dr. V.A. Smith says that he was a compound of contradictions. He was a learned scholar and an excellent speaker, and a talented calligraphist and a devout Mussulman. He possessed sound of knowledge of mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, and logic. However, His policies, though well meant, were ill planned and badly executed. They made him very unpopular, giving him the reputation of being a mixture of opposites. Muhammad died at Tatta in 1351 CE. The nobles chose Firoz Shah as his successor. The Sultanate had slowly begun to decline. The Tughlaqs were followed by the Sayyids and Lodhis. The last Lodhi ruler, Ibrahim Lodhi, was defeated in the first battle of Panipat in 1526 CE by Babur and the founder of the Mughals. Hope this helps. Thank you for watching. Like, share and subscribe.